Hey, welcome or welcome back. It is, as always, good to see you today. And today I picked the wrong day to wear this shirt. I'll have to be right back. All right, we are back. I just threw a little pullover over on top of this. You can still see the neckline if I sit weird, but let's try this again. All right, we have a new Amberlynn read video today. This one is titled Opening Up About My Family and Addiction Weigh-In Week 4. I haven't seen this video yet, of course. I never do beforehand, and so I don't know what she's going to be talking about, but I imagine there might be some trigger warnings in here as far as addiction, possibly abuse, I don't know. So I don't know how much of her video I'm going to leave in here. I don't know if I want to leave in things about her parents and whatnot, but we'll see. And then we'll see how the weigh-in's going for Amber. So, all that being said, let's go ahead and,
dive on in!
Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So this is weigh-in video, my Sunday weigh-in. So my goal...
That's right, she's weighing in on Sundays, isn't she? And this was uploaded early this morning, so a few days.
For the near future is to have my Sunday weigh-in uploaded on Monday. As you guys can tell, I've kind of been failing at that because I'm just taking it easy in January. I just feel like I need a little bit of...
She's just going with the flow this month, just uploading whenever she finishes editing while taking a poo.
A mental health break from filming, and that's fine. Me being my own boss, I'm able to do that, which I love. So
exactly, and that's why a lot of people I guess what's the word? I'm sorry, I had a message came in that just derailed me. She's very privileged in that she can work just a few hours a week and make the money she makes. And I think people feel like she takes that for granted.
Let's get into the 5 questions and then we'll get into the weigh-in.
Oh god, the 5 questions. I forgot about these. Alright, we may leave some of these in, we may not, we'll see.
So the first question is, does the rest of your family also struggle with their weight? And not all of my family, but a really big thing for me when I think of my family and my weight is my grandma on my dad's side. Before I was even born, she was over 600 pounds and she actually got weight loss surgery.
Oh, wow. So her grandma on her dad's side, her paternal grandmother, was over 600 pounds. Wow.
Before I was born. I didn't even know they had weight loss surgery back then. Like, that's so weird to me. I know that
it's not that long ago. Yes, bariatric surgery's been around for a while.
I sound like ignorant, but I thought weight loss surgery was like maybe like 20 years old.
Really? Really? No, my dad had a friend when I was like 12 years old, 10 years old maybe, that when I was with him for a weekend, we went to go visit her in the hospital. Her name was Dawn. For some reason, I still remember this. Weird random memory. Her name was Dawn. And she had gastric bypass. And she had some major complications from it. And she was in the hospital and she was in there for a while. And I think she may have even passed away from it. There may have been some really severe complications, but it did not go well for her. And that has always stuck with me. And I've always not been the biggest fan of getting the surgery. If you could avoid it, doing it more natural. And I think, thinking back, I think that's why. I mean, when I was in my mid-20s, I had a girlfriend that was bigger. And she had mentioned to me that she wanted to get gastric bypass. And I talked her out of it. I was like, I don't think you should. I'm like, I love you the way you are, but if you want to lose weight, let's work on doing it, without the surgery. Let's work on eating better, exercising, whatever. She lived in Kentucky and I was in Missouri. we weren't together very long, maybe 6 months, I think. But so yeah, what a weird memory to have come back to me. That's stuck with me for a long time. But yeah, so that's all to say. That would have been like in the late 80s, early 90s, like 89 to 91 type range.
Something around there. I'm 32 if anyone's wondering. So I always knew my grandma as a woman in her like low 200s, high hundreds. The grandma that I'm speaking of is no longer with us. She was like my mom when my mom couldn't be my mom, and I miss her dearly. Like more than anything, I wish she was still alive because of how close we were. And it's like we have so much in common, not just the weight aspect, but she's also a lesbian, and I didn't know that.
Oh, wow. Amberlynn takes after her paternal grandmother in a lot of ways.
Until I was older and she had already passed on. My dad didn't want me knowing for some reason. That's like a whole other story for a different time. So, but yeah,
well, I mean, for her grandmother being in a generation where it wasn't acceptable, it's only in the last 20 years become really more mainstream. People have felt safer being able to come out. We've only really had protections in the last maybe 10 years, and even nationwide having discrimination laws for the LGBTQ plus community hasn't been around very long.
I do have people in my family who struggle with their weight, but I also have people in my family who are just naturally thinner. Lucky them. Fourth question is, what's different this time with weight loss surgery versus last time? So I don't know if you guys know.
That's an interesting question. Because yeah, last time it was because of the mental health. I believe she would have had to have seen a psychologist.
Some of you are new to my channel, some of you haven't seen all my videos or know about every single thing that I do in my life. I have tried to get weight loss surgery before. It was actually a few years ago, and they told me that they wanted me to heal from my past, and I took that as a fail. This time, I know they're gonna say that to me. Instead of thinking of it as a fail, I am accepting it as part of the journey. That is how I know my mindset is completely different. It's not gonna.
Let's hope so.
Be a fail. It's not going to be no, you can't get weight loss surgery. It's okay, here's your first step, now do it. And the reason why I took that as a fail last time is because I didn't want to put in the work.
Yeah, she didn't want to do the work. She didn't want to talk about her past. She didn't want to work on her binge eating disorder, which even though she's been seeing a psychologist for that for almost a year, I don't think she's made a lot of progress.
I didn't want to at all, and this time I do want to. That is a big difference. Last question is, does Delta 8 make you binge? It does for me. Does it for you? So Delta 8 is a wannabe THC. I mean, it has THC in it. I don't want to get into details, but it's just legalized like marijuana, kind of. And yes, I actually had to quit, and that was hard for me because I think I kind of started to rely on it. I woke up and I was excited to take one, and I couldn't go to bed without one. It was becoming a crutch. When I had anxiety or things felt heavy, I would take one. And it was becoming sort of an addiction. I feel like anything could be an addiction. We don't have to discuss that right now, but I have quit. I no longer take Delta 8 anymore because it was causing my binging to get way worse, because I was getting to a point where I was getting pretty high, and like I would just mindlessly eat and eat and eat all day. So I guess it's time that I share with you guys when I said that the first week of.
So I don't know if she's getting ready to get into her past here yet, but I probably removed 3 questions. One asking if she was health at every size, one asking what she was drinking if she wasn't drinking water. We all know she's not health at every size. She's beauty at every size. She's been drinking diet root beer. For the second question, and then the other one that I removed, they were asking if Delta 8 made her binging worse, and she said yes. Basically, she was becoming reliant on the Delta 8, and it was making her binging worse, so she quit. And now we're moving into this, which I think is going to be the meat and potatoes of the video.
Ozempic did not work for me, and the reason why is because I was taking a lot of Delta 8, and
oh, okay, so maybe this is more relevant. So before I had paused it there, she said that whenever she started taking Ozempic, she said it wasn't working for her. And it's because she was taking a lot of Delta 8. I thought she'd quit taking or using Delta 8 a while ago.
Like I said, it was like I was obsessed with it. I relied on it. I relied on it a lot. And I wouldn't really film while high. Actually, I might have a couple times, not many, but I ended up quitting Delta 8 while taking Ozempic. And I think that was a really big thing that also helps because Delta 8 was making me so freaking hungry, and then like stopping it plus starting Ozempic, it was very helpful. But I have not done Delta 8 in, it's gonna be almost a week. And
so you didn't quit whenever you were doing Ozempic then? If it's been a week, can we really say that you quit? Oh my god, Amberlynn. Then you didn't quit. If it's just been a week since since you used it. What?
Yeah, it's just it's sad because I do enjoy it, you know, I do. It's so relaxing, and it makes you feel good, but it's not worth it because it made me feel sluggish. It made me feel hungry. It made me not really do the things I was supposed to do. What I'm trying to say is,
well, so it's been a week. Are you going to keep not using it?
it wasn't productive. Like, it wasn't causing me to be productive in my life in any sort of way. And I know that I took Delta 8 on live stream, and I kind of regret that because I don't know.
Wait, which live stream? Was this during the live stream era with Becky or the Halloween live stream that I didn't watch yet? It's 3 hours, man. That's a lot of time to put into it.
Live streams make me feel like really anxious, and I get in a weird headspace, and I get put on the spot with like harassment and things that I don't want to talk about, and then like I just get so overwhelmed that I become, sometimes I say and do things that I just don't agree with. I don't know what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is, I think that by no longer taking Delta 8, it is going to drastically help me. And I already feel that
it certainly won't hurt with the binging and being hungry. In
the last few days, it has helped me because I haven't been binging. And since that was my last question, that kind of is going into how this last week has been.
Just a quick thought here while I'm editing. A week isn't going to be long enough for her to be able to judge whether or not the Delta 8 was really affecting her binging or not. She's going to need a longer time frame.
My main focus is not to binge. That is all I'm worried about. I really want to see, am I binging or
So what are you going to do if the urge to binge does strike? What are you going to do to prevent it?
Am I a food addict? I have always said that I have binge eating disorder. I was diagnosed with binge eating disorder, but was I misdiagnosed? Because am I just a food addict? I think of this, I've been thinking a lot of addiction lately, you know, with like my family. Sorry.
I think it can be both.
I grew up in foster care because my parents were drug addicts, and my mom's been sober for almost 7 years, and it's just, it's beautiful. And my dad is still in his addiction, and this is hard for me to say, and you guys have been saying I need to be more open because I feel like I've lost that side of me. I'm not as open as I used to be. I try to be, but it's hard. But my brother, my little brother, he is back in jail for drugs, and it's like, it's so bittersweet because he was homeless, and it's like, I couldn't help him for personal reasons. I'm not gonna say I couldn't help him with a home. I couldn't help him with him coming here because it wasn't allowed.
Editing Libby again. So I imagine people might come for her talking about why wasn't it allowed, blah blah blah. In some apartment complexes or when you're renting somewhere, sometimes there are limits on how many people can be in said apartment depending on how many bedrooms there are. And also, some places have rules against people with, criminal records, or if her brother's been in prison or jail, whichever one it is. Sometimes there are issues with having felons renting a place, or it could just be you can't have somebody that's not on the lease living there or being there longer than a week or two. I know my apartment had a similar clause in the lease that I couldn't have anybody else there longer than like a week out of a month if I had somebody visiting.
And it's just, I feel like I didn't help. I tried, I would pay for his food a lot and stuff, and I don't want to say too much about his personal information and stuff and what he's going through, but right now this is also something that I'm going through, and I know that sounds selfish, and I'm not trying to be. It's just, this is like such a, I don't know.
I will say that some people may see that as selfish, but when somebody close to you or a close family member is going through struggles, either with addiction or if they're in jail or something, it does affect the people that love and care about them. And it does put a strain on those relationships.
It's a very hard time for me because I'm thinking more of addiction lately, and I'm wondering, do I actually binge, or do I just eat large quantities because I'm addicted to what I'm eating? And this is all something that I am
Maybe that's something you need to explore with your psychologist.
going to be able to find out. And I'm just thinking more and more, about it. And like the last time I showed you guys, I was binging. It was literally a meal from a fast food place, and like people were saying that's not a binge, and then I was confused because I was like, well, my psychologist says it is, and I feel like it is, and then
I didn't consider that a binge, but I guess it also depends what mindset she was in. But I know I silenced my phone. But as far as the quantity of food, I don't, in my opinion, it wouldn't qualify as a binge, judging by the quantity. But if her mindset was that she was binging, then I guess maybe to her she was.
I don't know. I am confused, and I feel like this whole weight loss journey thing and me seeing,
or it's just food addiction. You wanted the rallies, you ordered some rallies.
Another psychologist and really digging deeper, because we need to dig deeper so I can get approved for weight loss surgery. I think I'm going to be coming to a lot of memories and
I was trying to not yawn, I'm sorry.
Situations and things that I don't know if I want to talk about and absorb and process and think about, but I have to. And so when I sit here and say I don't want to binge, I guess that's just what I'm used to saying, and what I really mean by that is I don't want to eat when I shouldn't. And that is just the easiest way for me to explain it right now, because I always considered me binging when I'm eating large quantities of food when I shouldn't be eating them. That's what that felt like to me. And
what if you're eating large quantities of food during a meal and you're binging? I mean,
I don't know. I want to figure this out, and it's like, am I just...
Ugh. Sorry I keep yawning. I think a psychologist would be the best one to help her figure that out.
Am I like my parents? Did I just choose a different outlet, And
it's possible.
It's like...
So the National Institute on Drug Abuse has an article on their website stating, why do some people become addicted while others don't? Family studies that include identical twins, fraternal twins, adoptees, and siblings suggest that as much as half of a person's risk of becoming addicted to nicotine, alcohol, or other drugs depends on his or her genetic makeup. Finding the biological basis for this risk is an important avenue of research for scientists trying to solve the problem of drug addiction. So I would say for Amberlynn, having two parents that were drug addicts, she would be at a much higher risk for some form of addiction. And it's probably pretty possible that her addiction just happens to come in the form of food because she used it for a coping mechanism instead of drugs or alcohol.
My brother, he is an addict, but he chose drugs. Well, drugs chose him, you know? And it's like, I think of my mom, and she is so inspiring. It's because it's like, I remember how things were when I was younger. They were scary, and the things that she did and the things that she went through, it was scary. And I never, as sad as this is, I never thought that she would change, ever. And it's like, she's over 7 years clean, and it's like, she's inspired me.
So this is what Amberlynn showing real emotion actually looks like, and I can see, she loves her mom. I'm sure she loves her dad and her brother too, but she loves her mom and she's proud of her mom for her mom being able to get through her issues with addiction.
I didn't want to talk about any of this. Oh my god, my mascara. I didn't really want to like talk about any of this, but I've been hearing a lot of you say that like I'm just not the same person as I used to be. Like, I'm not as open. And it's because I'm scared to be open. Because people just, they make me feel so bad about being human. And I don't want to feel bad about it anymore. Anyways, so.
Well, I'll say her personal business is her personal business. If she doesn't want to share it, she doesn't have to share it. But people have gotten so used to her sharing everything that when she doesn't now, they want her to share more. I mean, it's like a parasocial relationship here. People feel like they're entitled to information about Amberlynn from Amberlynn. And if she doesn't want to share, she doesn't have to. She doesn't know us. But,
I weighed in at 520.0, which means I did gain weight, and I'm exactly where I was on January 1st. Today is actually Tuesday, and I got a new scale. You guys will actually see that in a vlog.
Oh, a new scale.
I opened it for you guys and I explained why I got a new scale. And I weighed myself today because I wanted to see if the scale was accurate. So I stepped on the one that I usually use, and then I stepped on the new one. And I'm already down a couple pounds from just Sunday. So that makes me really happy because, like I said, I'm not.
Well, did you step on both of them and they showed the same for you being down a couple pounds?
What I consider binging. Am I overeating? Yes, but I just feel like there's a different level. I don't know how to quite explain it, and I kind of want to dive deeper into that and maybe like show you guys physical foods and what I mean by like overeating versus like binging, if you will. So on a happier note, my weight loss surgery appointment is coming up soon, and I am honestly so excited. Oh my god, my makeup's all messed up. I was just wearing mascara and some lip stuff, but it is what it is. It's at the end of the night. So I'm gonna end this video. I'm sorry it was such a mess. I just wanted to be more open about what's really sitting heavy on me right now. But I am so hopeful for my future, actually, and I know the tears might say otherwise, but I think it's a mixture of like sad tears for my brother, hopeful tears for me, scared tears for me. I don't know, it's a lot of different stuff, but I'm okay, and I just need to take a breath. I know that I'm gonna be okay, and I'm making the right choice by doing this weight loss surgery journey, and just keep my fingers crossed. That's all I can do. I'd love positive thoughts from my brother. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
All right. Well, that was an emotional one from Amberlynn. I really hope her brother and her dad can both get the help they need and, get better and move forward and, become productive, happy members of society and, get over their issues with addiction. I think Amberlynn definitely needs to work with a psychologist, figure out what her issues are and what she can do to circumvent them. Because if it is just a food addiction, she should be able to find ways to get around it. But the Delta 8 is very interesting. We'll see if she actually has quit that, and if it did cause binging issues for her, we'll see, I guess. So self-induced binging because of the Delta 8, it seems. But I think that's all we've got for you on this one, and I hope, you've had a lovely day. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Goal of 300, what was my goal, 500? Was my goal 500 or 300? I don't remember. Let's make it 500. Okay, goal of 500 subscribers by the end of the year. So, yeah, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until next time, be safe and take care.